Want to reset your vibration in 2 minutes? Edgar Cayce, America's most documented trance medium with over 14,000 readings archived at the Association for Research and Enlightenment, taught that your soul actually leaves the body each night, and the state of your pre-sleep mind helps determine where it goes. Tonight, I'm going to show you a simple 2-minute breath practice adapted from Cayce's guidance that can help you tilt the odds toward higher, healing realms. And I'll explain why protection and intention matter before you drift off. If you want the guided 2-minute audio that matches this practice, tap like or follow now and I'll make it available. Edgar Cayce describes sleep not as mere downtime, but as a kind of soul travel. He used the image of a silver cord, a subtle tether that keeps the sleeping soul connected to the physical body while it journeys. According to the documented readings, that journey tends to move through 3 broad dimensions. The first, Cayce called the borderland, a near realm where souls meet earthbound spirits, loved ones who linger, and impressions tied to unresolved emotion. The second is what people now call the Akashic Records, a luminous, library-like field where soul histories, remedies, and lessons can be accessed. The third is the highest creative, or God consciousness, a transcendent field of revelation, directive, and soulful mission, where prophetic insight and deep guidance may be received. Those aren't metaphors Cayce invented on a whim. They're the framework that recurs across many of his documented readings. And his Cayce notes include short, compelling examples that make the model feel vivid and usable. Take the businessman who, according to one account recorded in Cayce's readings, received clear, practical counsel from his deceased father while the man was asleep, advice that later guided an important business decision and, the reading suggests, preserved a family relationship. That's a borderland encounter that played out as continuity and counsel rather than loss. Then there's a mother who, as reported in Cayce's readings, found a precise remedy while her consciousness visited what the records describe like a luminous archive. In her dreamlike visit, she perceived a particular herb and the way it should be prepared. She later used that guidance to help her child recover. Cayce's readers interpreted that as access to remedial information from the Akashic-like realm, a soul-level retrieval of healing knowledge rather than a conventional medical prescription. The readings consistently frame such events as case examples, not as scientific proof, which is an important distinction I'll keep returning to. On the highest edge of the map, Cayce himself reported prophetic sleep visions. Some of his trance readings contained images and descriptions that interpreters later associated with major world events. The point here isn't to claim prophecy is guaranteed, it's to show the scope of what Cayce's documented readings suggested. That sleep can be a conduit for guidance, healing, and even larger revelation. These possibilities are powerful, but they come with caveats. Cayce's material repeatedly warns of lower, darker realms and of entities drawn to fear or confusion. One documented case describes a young man whose nightly travels left him entangled in lower astral impressions until he learned to call for protection and re-anchor his intention. The takeaway from that account is clear. Without simple spiritual hygiene, some sleep states may reinforce anxiety or energetic disturbance rather than resolve it. So how do you prepare? Cayce emphasized pre-sleep meditation, clear intention setting, and protection. Images like white light or the idea of aligning with Christ consciousness appear in many readings as protective metaphors, regardless of one's religious background. He recommended directing consciousness before sleep, asking the higher self or guiding forces to steer the journey toward healing and truth. For modern seekers, that can be simplified. A brief breath and intention routine that calms the nervous system, roots awareness, and explicitly requests safe, beneficial guidance. That's what I call Cayce's 2-minute breath. A practical, condensed adaptation of his pre-sleep counsel you can use anytime you want to reset your vibration. Before we do it, one more grounding note. The accounts in Cayce's documented readings are framed as case reports and trance material. They are not medical advice, not a clinical guarantee of healing, and not a promise that everyone who practices this breath will have visions or miracles. What people report is experiential. Calmer sleep, clearer dreams, better dream recall, sometimes guidance or insights that feel meaningful. Keep that in mind as you try this. Also, if you have a history of psychiatric conditions or dissociative symptoms, consult mental health professionals before deep dream work. Safety first. All right, get comfortable. You can either sit with your feet on the floor or lie down. This 2-minute practice is short, steady, and intentionally gentle. Follow my voice and do only what feels safe. We'll move through 3 phases: grounding, rhythm with a silver cord image, and a brief intention and protection close. Ready? Let's begin. Start by closing your eyes and taking 4 slow, even breaths to settle. Inhale gently through your nose for a count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale fully through your mouth or nose for a count of 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more like that. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the edge for a heartbeat if that's comfortable, and exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. One last grounding breath, soft and deliberate. With each exhale, feel your shoulders drop and your face soften. This is just to bring attention inward to signal to your nervous system that you're choosing calm. Now move into the central rhythm. We'll use a 4-4-4 cycle. Inhale for 4, hold gently for 1 or 2 if that's comfortable, exhale for 4. Keep it smooth, like waves lapping a shoreline. As you breathe this way, imagine a thin, luminous silver cord, not heavy or dramatic, simply a gentle thread that quietly tethers your soul to your body. Picture it as a secure safety line that allows your deeper self to explore while ensuring a safe return. With your next inhalation, feel that tether as a soft connection at the base of the throat or chest, a warm, reassuring line that never severs. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1 or 2. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Repeat this cycle and notice if your mind races. If it does, return to the counting and the image. The breath is the anchor. The silver cord is the safety. As you continue the rhythm, begin to fold in a protection visualization. On the inhale, imagine a gentle, radiant white light descending like morning sunlight. This is not a theatrical shield, but a calming presence that surrounds your body and field with intention for the highest good. See it as luminous and soft, filling your chest on the inhale and expanding outward with the exhale. On the next inhale, silently state your intention. Guide me to the highest, safest realms for my highest good. Say it once, with conviction, but without strain, and let that phrase sit in your awareness as you breathe out any tension. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, silently attune to, guide me to the highest, safest realms, hold gently if you like, and exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, releasing fear and hurry. We've got about 30 seconds left in the practice. Keep the rhythm, keep the white light image, and feel the tether holding steady. If a stray thought arrives, a to-do list, a worry, acknowledge it without judgment and return to the light and the breath. With the final inhale, draw the white light in one last time, feel it washing through you from crown to toes, and on the final exhale, imagine any residual fear or clinginess dissolving into the air. Slowly bring your awareness back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes if you're seated. If you're lying down, sense the points where your body contacts the surface. Before you open your eyes, make a quick note mentally. Did you feel anything subtle change? A warmth, a clarity, a looseness in the chest? Those small impressions are often the first signs of a shift in vibration. That's the full 2-minute breath. 2 minutes that combine calming breath, a safety image, and an explicit intention to be guided toward the safest, most beneficial realms. A compact version of Cayce's longer pre-sleep preparations. If you liked that and want a downloadable audio you can play at bedtime, try it tonight and let me know how it lands for you. Now, a few practical habits to multiply the benefit. First, dream incubation. Cayce emphasized asking specific questions before sleep as a way to seed your night journey. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Make your pre-sleep intention clear. Ask, for example, what do I need to know about this decision? Or, how can I support my body's healing tonight? Speak the question softly or hold it in mind after the 2-minute breath. Keep it brief and phrased in a way that invites guidance rather than demands an outcome. People who journal their dream impressions often find patterns emerge more quickly when they incubate questions with this kind of intention. Second, keep a dream journal within arm's reach. As soon as you wake, before your full waking mind rearranges the images into narrative, write down any fragments, a color, a figure, a feeling. Cayce's documented readings frequently underscore the value of recalling and recording impressions. Over time, the act of recording strengthens recall and helps you recognize whether your pre-sleep intention is bearing fruit. Third, repeat the breath nightly. Like any nervous system practice, repetition compounds the effect. 2 minutes each night before sleep helps turn intention into habit. It primes your system to approach sleep with clarity rather than autopilot. Some people report clearer dreams or an overall sense of being more attuned after a week or 2 of regular practice. Again, these are subjective experiences reported in case material, not medical guarantees, but many people find the cumulative effect meaningful. Fourth, protection and boundaries. Cayce's readings include explicit warnings about lower astral impressions and beings that can feed on fear or confusion. That's why the white light visualization and the silver cord image are integral to this short practice. You're not trying to build an impenetrable fortress. You're setting a clear intention to be guided to the highest, safest realms and to be shown only what serves your highest good. If you ever feel unsettled during dream work, recurring nightmares, intense dissociation, or unmanageable fear, pause the practice and consult trusted practitioners or mental health professionals. In documented cases, practitioners who combined intention with community support and grounding exercises recovered their equilibrium more quickly than those who went it alone. Let me give you one short illustration from the readings that highlights both promise and peril. A young man, as documented in the accounts, began experiencing frightening nocturnal impressions and an escalating sense of being trapped after repeated unsupervised experiments. He eventually sought help, learned protective visualizations, and re-established daily grounding rituals. With intentional support, his nightly experiences shifted from chaotic to instructive. That story is not here to scare you, it's to remind you why protection, community, and moderation matter. Here's another compact case. A nurse in Cayce's reports was guided during sleep to a healing temple experience where she saw patterns of energy and felt a clear instruction about a patient's recovery trajectory. The reading framed that as both a healing insight and a call for ethical discernment. The nurse did not take the experience as a substitute for medical judgment, but rather as a complement to professional care. That balance, openness to subtle guidance, paired with grounded responsibility, is the tone Cayce's readings often suggest. And finally, a personal-level healing example. The accounts include a woman who had recurrent water fear traced to a past life imprint. Through a combination of intention, guided dream work, and integration, she reported a significant reduction in the phobic response. Cases like hers illustrate how deep-seated patterns sometimes surface during sleep and can be transformed when approached with support and steady practice. If you try the 2-minute breath tonight, here are 3 simple prompts you can use for dream incubation. Ask, what message would be most helpful for me tomorrow? Or, where in my life does healing need attention? Or, simply, show me one step I can take for my highest good. Keep your questions open-ended and kindly curious. In the morning, jot down whatever you remember, even one line, and notice whether a feeling or image returns in days that follow. A few practical tips to help the technique sink in. Avoid heavy screens right before bed, dim the lights, and create a small ritual that signals to your nervous system the day is winding down. A warm cup of caffeine-free tea, a quick stretch, or a few minutes of soft reading. If you wake in the middle of the night, breathe the same 4-4-4 rhythm once, visualize the white light, and repeat your intention. Those small resets can prevent the mind from spiraling back into fear and keep your nocturnal travel aligned with the guidance you seek.
One more reminder about claims and expectations. Cayce's documented readings present a spectrum of experiences. Some people reported vivid, directive dreams, others noticed subtle shifts in mood or clearer waking intuition. The breathwork practice is designed to influence your subjective field, to calm, to orient, and to signal your intention, not to guarantee specific supernatural outcomes. Use it as a discipline for inner attunement. Track your experiences and treat them as data. What changed? What repeated? What felt life-affirming? Over time, you'll learn how your system responds. If you're someone who already explores dream work, this 2-minute practice can act as a pre-sleep primer that consolidates your intention. If you're new to these ideas, think of it as a gentle introduction to spiritual hygiene, a short habit that tends to reduce anxiety around sleep and invite more constructive nighttime processing. Either way, the essential elements are the same: calm breath, a safety tether image, the silver cord, and a protective, highest good intention, the white light. Try it tonight and, if you feel comfortable, come back and leave a comment about your impressions. One sentence is enough.
Did you feel calmer? Did a dream image stand out? Sharing helps the community learn and keeps the practice anchored in everyday life. If you want more guided sessions like this, subscribe so I can post longer tracks and focused incubations. To close, remember the spirit of Cayce's teaching as it's presented in his documented readings. Sleep is not inert. It can be a time of healing, retrieval, and guidance. But it's also a territory where intention and protection matter. This 2-minute breath is a practical way to reset your vibration, make a clear request to the highest good, and create safer conditions for nocturnal soul travel. As Cayce often framed it, dreams can be the answers to tomorrow's questions. Make tonight's minutes count. Try the breath, set your simple intention, and let your sleep be a source of guidance and healing rather than confusion.